We just spoke about the pages concept of the Next.js framework. In this video, we're going to try to create 2 new pages that we can visit inside of our project, and then we'll start up the Next framework and make sure that they are in fact pages that we can visit. Inside my Kickstart directory, I'm going to make a new folder that's going to hold all the different pages that our users can go to. So I'm going to make a new folder and I'm going to call it Pages. Again, I can't say it enough. Please call this thing Pages. If you call it anything else, it's not going to work. Next specifically expects to see a folder called Pages. Then inside of here, we'll create 2 new files. The first one we'll call show.js. And then the second one we'll call new campaign.js. And we'll keep it all lowercase for right now. We're going to eventually delete both these files. For right now, I just want to give you a very solid example of how Next.js does its routing. Now inside of each of these, we're going to create and export one single React component. So up at the top, we're going to import React from React. We'll then make a functional component and immediately export it from this file. So I'll say export default. I'll place an arrow function, and from this thing I will return an h1 that says this is the new campaign page. I'm then going to copy this. I'm going to go over to my show file, so show.js, and I'll paste this in. And we'll update to the h1. We'll change it over to welcome to the show page, like so. All right, so let's now attempt to start up Next.js, and then we're going to verify that we can visit both of these pages inside of our application. To start up Next.js, we have to create a new script inside of our package.json file. So I'm going to open up my package.json file. I'm going to find the scripts section inside there, and I'm going to add another entry to this thing. We're going to create another script called dev, and whenever we run this dev script, we're going to execute the command next dev, like so. All right, so let's now go over to the command line, and we're going to execute this command right here in order to start our project up, and then we should be able to verify that we can visit these 2 separate pages. So back at the command line, again inside of my Kickstart directory, I'm going to run the command npm run dev. Now we're going to wait just a minute or 2 for this command to actually boot up. It's going to process all the different files and folders inside of our project directory, and then in a couple of seconds we should see a message that says ready for localhost :3000. So we're going to open up our browser now. We'll open up a new browser tab, and I'm going to attempt to visit localhost :3000. Once we go here, it's going to take just a moment or 2 to load up for the very first time, but very quickly we'll see a message on the screen that says 404. This page cannot be found. So we just attempted to visit a URL that does not have any corresponding page inside of our pages directory over here. Let's now try to visit the show route and the new campaign route. And when we do so, we should see this component and this component appear on the screen. So we'll go to localhost 3000/show. And again, we wait a second or 2 for everything to load up. And then we very quickly get welcome to the show page. Cool. Likewise, if we go to localhost 3000/new campaign, we'll see this is the new campaign page appear on the screen as well. That's pretty much the basics of Next.js routing. And believe it or not, there's not too much to Next.js beyond this. Well, of course, there's some very important details, but at the end of the day, when we start using Next, the thing to keep in mind is that for every page that we want to create, we're going to make a new React component inside this pages directory. And we're going to make sure that the name of the component itself corresponds to the page or the URL that we want to have automatically generated for us. So that's a very simple introduction to Next, but of course, we're probably going to have to figure out some much more complex things as well eventually. So let's pause right here. We'll continue in the next video, and we're going to start moving forward with our application.